Hi, I'm Scott McKenna, the Sheriff of Lapeer County, and I wanted to take and put some time together to put a video out to kind of all our families of Lapeer County and residents. One of the things that we are all doing right now is in fear of multiple things, not only across our world, but ultimately in Lapeer County. There is a lot of craziness, and I think a lot of you know me personally and know that I'm pretty blunt in those things that I talk about. I've talked to multiple parents recently that have called to talk to me about things with kids, everything else, from everything under the sun that we're seeing right now. And I am going to ask whether you stop this and play this with your kids or to have them look back at it later. And I'll kind of explain why there's so much fear out there that I think a lot of us don't even understand our kids are going through. Understand that in this short video, I'm not going to talk to you about the medical side. I am definitely not smart enough, and I'm not qualified to talk about those things. The other side that I want to point out is I get it that there's multiple different views on this. There's conspiracy theories, there's all the other things with it, and you have your right to that opinion. What I'm going to ask in this video is that we understand the reality that we're living in the United States, but also in Lapeer County. And I'm also going to ask for all of us to take that, understand that, and come together like Lapeer County does. We have multiple things that are out there, and a lot of these things are common sense. And I'm asking that you have that discussion with your kids. Explain just the simple things of hand washing, of having to sneeze, whether into your elbow or Kleenex, wiping off your cell phones, not touching your face, shaking hands, whether you fist bump or elbow bump or whatever it may be. And, with public places, all the different things that are out there. And let's be completely 100% honest, the timing is really tough. And I get that. We all get that. Obviously, we got spring break coming up. We are all affected. Every single one of you affected, whether it's economically, whether it's with vacations, whether it's with your employment or your hours or with the kids being home now. We get that stress that's coming with it, and everybody is struggling, and everybody also has some fear to it. Whether you don't believe it or not, it's had to get the attention recently of what we're actually experiencing across the country. I had a long conversation with multiple parents, but I had one good buddy of mine that lives here in Lapeer County. Kids go to school here, but is a teacher in another district. And it got my attention, and ultimately was probably the reason for this video or for me being on here. He was talking that he had a full day of teaching multiple grades and ages, and they never opened up a book. And the reason behind that is because they got talking heavily about COVID-19. One of the things that got my attention is that he said, Scott, you would have been amazed that about 75% of those kids that were involved, they felt like they were going to die or they were going to have serious health problems over this. And it kind of got me thinking, because he mentioned in there that he had multiple kids that started crying and teared up as they spoke about this, which brought me to why I really want, whether the kids watch it or you sit down with them and watch it, is these conversations. Because here's the point, and here's the truth of the matter is, this is getting our attention, and this is scary. Look at, for us as adults, we don't understand it half the time. And a lot of times we're getting information from all over, multiple different sources. They're using big words. They're talking about different things. And because it's so fluid, it seems to be changing at times. What about our kids? And when the buddy of mine said that, it really made the point of, have we sat down and explained to them? Have we explained to them that the different things that they can do to help spread this side of it? Did they understand those things? And to answer their questions, they are petrified. What do they do every day? They get in the car with mom or dad to go to school, the store, whatever it may be. What's on the radio? When they come home at night and they turn the TV on, or you're sitting there watching dinner, or mom and dad, or friends, or grandma or grandpa, whoever's watching the TV, what's on there? What is it when they're hearing state of emergency? They're seeing the president on there talking about a national emergency. That is total fear for them. We have a hard time grasping as adults. What about them? I beg you to go through this video and have discussions with them, because we need to make sure that everyone realizes we're going to be okay. they are going to be okay. Explain to them the health side of it is. There is people every day that have this and never have a symptom the entire time. The concern is, and the point that we have to point out is that you become a carrier for that, and you may never even know you have it, especially in the healthy and the younger. The problem is, you go to see grandpa and grandma, you got a friend in a nursing home, and you go to see them. You're still a carrier of that and can pass that on. That's important to think about. No matter what your actual opinion is on it, it's common sense, and we have to look at those things. Somebody said about slowing the curve, meaning on a graph of how they do that, and that's ultimately what everybody's trying to do. I want everybody to be very clear. We have been meeting nonstop for the last couple of weeks. There have been multiple policy changes, whether it's here at the county, at the sheriff's department, or across the board. We sit constantly with the health department, CDC, emergency management, McLaren, the school districts. Everybody is on top of this, and everybody is ready for all these things. Is there some new things in here because we're all experiencing it for the first time? Yeah, truthfully it is. So a lot of panic and a lot of chaos comes because of that. All of these disciplines are working together, and it changes by the hour that we sit down and make sure that we're focused on how we can make it better. Here's the truth that I want adults and especially kids to hear. The numbers are overwhelming. We turn on the TV, now the numbers are this. You just have your first 2 in Michigan, and then it goes to 11, goes to 12. The truth of the matter is, those numbers are going to grow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. These numbers are going to continue to go up. I want you to hear that, because that's when the chaos begins, because we start seeing it and the media puts it out one after another of how they're going up. They are going to continue to go up. Why? Because there's a big majority of people that have it, that have no symptoms, that are totally fine, and go about their day. The other part is, all the agencies are doing major testing right now. So of course the numbers are going to go up. What we want to do is slow that down. And understand that when that comes out, because it creates panic, it creates chaos, I want you to hear that first before those things happen. I want those discussions with the kids so they understand this is going to happen, so that they're clear when it does of, okay, we knew this was going to happen. All of the authorities here in Lapeer County are on top of things. They are meeting, we talk hourly through some of these things. And we are prepared for when those numbers go up and continue to do things. The panic and the things that are happening a lot of times with the grocery stores or the equipment, first responders need to get equipment. A lot of that equipment is not there because there's been such mass chaos of trying to get that for storage or personal use, whatever it is. Let's slow down. Let's take a breath. We are going to be okay with it. And ultimately, if we communicate with everybody, an educated family is a safer family, so that we don't have these things. This is tough right now. With kids are going to be home from school. There's a lot of changes. It's a stressful time for families, people in general. We got to get through it together. And that's one of the biggest things that I say. As Americans, but especially as Lapeer County, this county comes together like no other that I've ever seen. It doesn't matter if we're talking about a GoFundMe page or a meal train. This county wraps itself around people in need. We have a bigger situation here. And what is the solution? The same thing this county does all the time. Let's be smart. Let's educate each other. Let's realize we're going to be okay and come together to make sure that everybody's all right. Leave the opinions, and the other side of it is deal with the reality that we have today. We don't know what that will be tomorrow, and we'll continue to try to do updates so that we can kind of try to explain it to you and for us in a way that we can talk about it amongst the family, and that it's not so medically related. We're very grateful for all the partners we have. We're grateful for the community, because this town will rally. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I ask you to do those things so that we can make sure that Lapeer County is as safe as it can be, and that each one of us come together for each other. I thank you for your time.